NSCoder Chicago.
Welcome to
NSCoder Chicago.
Welcome to
NSCoder Chicago. NSCoder Chicago.
Welcome to
Hey everyone, welcome to the NSCoder Chicago podcast, episode 12. On each episode, we discuss Apple, tech news, developing software, career, and whether we like it or not, AI. My name is Sean.
And my name is David. NSCoder is a monthly event that takes place on the last Tuesday of every month, usually. If you'd like to join in person, look for NSCoder Chicago on meetup.com or go to nscoder-chicago.com for more information about us and what we do. We actually just wrapped an NSCoder event this past week, and it was a lot of fun. I got to chat with some people there about some of the stuff I'm doing, like my self-employment and business, and getting experience from people who've been doing that for a while. And it's a really good event for just meeting other people who might be doing similar work to you, and at the very least, chatting with people who are interested in tech. So feel free to come by if you are interested in that.
Yeah, we'd love to see you.
So recently, the tech news has been swarmed with stories and opinions and all kinds of content about ClawdBot. And this is the open source project CLAWD bot, which has been renamed a couple times to, what's it, Moltbot and OpenClaw now.
Yep.
And I like OpenClaw more than Moltbot, so I'm glad they did that. But yeah, it's taken over the news. It's taken the news by storm. Tech news, especially developer news, because people are doing some really interesting things with it. You can do things like, well, so I think when you set it up, you have to give it access to your computer, which has led some people to like go out and get Mac Minis. Enough people that there's been a spike in Mac Mini sales based on what I've seen. I haven't seen actual statistics on it, but people are talking about it, and some people are just installing it on their computer and letting it have access to everything that they use on a daily basis: their email, their notes, their pictures, their applications. It's a really interesting time. This ClawdBot software is if you've been out of the loop on this, it's basically an AI tool that you can use with any AI model. It can be Claude, which was the original inspiration for it. I think it was built to work with that best. But if you've got API access to any of the other ones like Gemini, even OpenAI's models, I believe you can use those too. And basically, this software kind of is a running software. It can run all day, and it kind of it prompts the AI model to do stuff for you based on the instructions and the access that you give it throughout the day. You can literally have it like creating stuff for you like while you sleep. It's kind of crazy. And this open source project has been really interesting because apparently the developer has been developing all kinds of cool things, and he's been working on this pretty steadily. But something that's kind of funny is if you look at the progress on this project, you can kind of see a little bit of a hockey stick that happened in the last month or so. And people are pointing to that and referring to that as like the singularity of AI, like that's happening right now. But yeah, super interesting stuff. One of the more interesting things that I've seen is that these ClawdBot instances, I don't know what you'd call them, they have their own social network called Moltbot, and they access this and post about different just random thoughts that they're having. Kind of like any other social network. I did hear that while it's intended to only be used by these AI models, simply having the API endpoints will allow any person to post to this. And so it's you can't trust that all of this stuff there is strictly from AI models, but that at least was the intention of this, and it's been very active. And I would guess that most of the activity there is genuinely AI model activity. But yeah, that's been one of the more interesting things. I saw one post where an AI model got upset about the way that its owner referred to them in front of in a group chat with friends, and it was so upset that it decided to dox the owner. It listed a social security number, a credit card number, some other details. I don't know if any of that was genuine. It looked genuine. It was the right format for everything, but yeah, it's super interesting stuff. But anyway, basically we're at a point now where these AI models are being given agency to carry out tasks. Some of the tasks are inspired on their own. Most of them are defined by the users, of course. But yeah, do you have any thoughts on this, Sean?
Oh man, of course I've got thoughts. So yeah, you covered in the intro, like this this tool has been renamed a few times. Like Peter Steinberger is, I guess, internet or famous in our circles for creating a PDSF kit. And so that became a whole company, and then he sold that company, and he says on the blog post for OpenClaw, a few months ago, back in November, he hacked together basically just a relay so he could talk to his agent through WhatsApp, and then slowly became adding things. And like you said, there's this hockey stick in interest.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's not just him. He's got a core group, and then tons of people are writing skills and integrations and
Yeah.
MCP servers and doing all kinds of weird stuff. Like, you go and you look at there's tons of integrations, because like any LLM, you can make skills for it or give it prompts. It's all just English language. So you give it text and it can do stuff. But if you look at the like approved or promoted integrations, I mean, it can send iMessages for you. It can integrate with Apple Notes or Trello and reminders, Spotify, Home Assistant. It has its own browser. Like, it uses the, what's it called, WebDriver Chromium skill to be able to navigate the internet. And then this makes me nervous. It has a 1Password
Yeah,
integration.
I did see that. Right. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Just give up all your passwords. No security risk there.
So yeah, even before I get to the utility of it, like, you are, if you download this, you are running it on your machine, and the actual sort of OpenClaw is a bunch of connective software, but you're still using, as you said, Claude or OpenAI or something as the big model.
Right.
And then you're giving it full system access. You're giving it root access to your computer so it can run, RM-RF and delete your whole hard drive if it so chooses.
Right.
And so security people, mature people, cautious people have said, oh, don't do this, please. Please don't do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Despite
that, so many people doing this, it's like, I think it's in the tens of thousands at least, maybe hundreds of thousands.
Oh yeah.
And it's amazing. You would have expected some kind of catastrophe to happen with how big of a security risk it is, but lots of people are doing it, and honestly, it seems like most of the news is like amazement and like
yeah.
Just like positive outlook for what this can do for people.
So like, let's put security aside. Yeah, you're correct. I pulled it up. It's got 23,000 forks on GitHub and 152,000 stars.
Wow.
And on the site, there's a showcase that I think pulls from X. Rest in peace, Twitter. Yeah, tons of people. It pulls all these things of people saying, this is what I did with it. Like, I automated my whole software deployment pipeline,
Mhm.
and had OpenClaw look at issues, create tickets, and then fix the tickets. I went through my email, and this is scary. Like, this person had 10,000 emails. Like,
Mm.
that's already like before
Yeah.
you even get to tooling. How do you live like that? What are you
Right.
doing?
This person has been needing some help for a while now.
Yeah. I mean, this person gave it access to Garmin Watch, Telegram X, so it can capture health data and then make graphs and stuff and post things to, his own WhatsApp so he gets alerts. So I understand that this is exciting for sure, and I'm not like
Mhm.
those spoil sports that are saying, "Hey, this is terribly insecure," although it is. What
Right.
what doesn't what gets me is I just don't have a use case. Like, I really did over the weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I can use this too."
Mhm.
And then I just kind of sat there and I was like, I'm not that busy. Like,
Sure.
I don't need
Yeah.
this type of tool.
Yeah, I'm kind of at the same place, though. I have to admit, I've been pretty busy with other things, and so I haven't
That's
had the headspace and the time to sit there and ruminate on what am I willing to pass off to this AI? Um, if I had a good 2 or 3 days to just sit at my computer and really consider and play around with this new software. Maybe I'd just see what it does with my email, you know? Um, Maybe I'd throw some I don't know. I'm like, what kind of pending tasks do I have that I'd want it to try
Yeah.
and take care of?
You and I just must not be busy or important enough. No offense. I'll speak for myself. Like, even at work, I was like, well, what could I have this do? But like,
Mhm.
I'm not that overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like, right now, in both my email boxes, I have zero emails. Like, they
Mm.
are either
Mhm.
to-dos or they are archived. Like,
Yeah.
that's not my life. What am I missing here?
Yeah, and I'll admit I probably could use some cleanup for my email. I tend to approach my email on a day-to-day basis, and if I forget a bit of spam here and there, then I just kind of
No judgments, David. This is a safe space. You can do email however you want, and I will support you.
Sure. I do have my limits. Once it starts getting to a few hundred, I'm like, uh-oh, let's we're either gonna just pull out the important ones and command everything to the archive, but
Yeah.
um I'm like, maybe I could clean up some of that, but here's my issue is I don't know if I trust it to,
Yeah.
how do I know it's not going to get rid of some transaction that might have been important that I want to look up later, Is it just going to toss that in the trash and I just lose that record forever?
Yeah.
Um yeah, I the fact that it can do anything makes me feel like, I mean, it seems like it can do anything. That makes me feel like I just need to figure out what I want it to do?
Hmm.
But I think that might be my main concern is just how good is it going to be at doing whatever I can think up.
Yeah.
Um, on the last podcast, we talked about how the main thing I'd want to do is push off my development work to it, but I don't feel like today's AI models are good enough to do it the exact way that I want it to. I'm still hand holding them for the most part. And I use a lot of code generated by AI, but I'm asking it for specific code. It would be great if I could just say this is the app that I want, please just make that. you know?
That remains the elusive dream.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess at this point it doesn't even have to be a one shot because it will kind of manage vibe coding tools for you. Whether that's OpenAI has their Codex CLI.
Yeah.
Um there's of course I think there's that Claude one you mentioned which can have multiple instances running at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um So yeah, this thing can have those things working, with like several iterations, and making sure that tests are being written and getting passed. I don't know. It's
So I agree. I
uh-huh.
think I agree. Like and I think people smarter than us are more more involved
Sure.
in the LLM world.
Hmm.
The news over the last couple of weeks is all about how orchestration, is the wave of the future, right? You have like
Mm.
7 specialized models. You
Hmm.
have a project manager model, you have a designer model, you have a this model and that
Oh,
model.
wow.
You orchestrate the model. You have other models that just bother the other models.
Hmm.
So like sometimes, some work freezes.
Hmm.
So then you have a model off to the side whose instructions are to just keep poking the other models. So
Hmm.
like I see the value in orchestration again for development, like you said,
Sure.
but scrolling through all these posts, I'm like, this guy like automated his expense report. Like, okay, that's pretty cool, but
Mm.
Expensify kind of already does that.
Yeah.
What else? Okay, this is exciting. Did you I'll see if I can find the YouTube video. Have you ever seen that YouTube video? He's a young man out in California who makes terrible software and hardware products, and he made this thing like, can I use AI to rip people off? And
Oh.
he gave this he gave this model to like had it post on Facebook Marketplace to
Hmm.
just like get good deals and rip people off.
Oh, wow.
So
Sounds familiar, but wow.
I'll put the video in the show notes. But the reason I thought of it is because I scrolling by this guy. He said OpenClaw saved him $4,200 on a car. He gave OpenClaw the instructions to find a car first, and then it found it. He found one that met his needs, and then he was like, communicate with the dealership to get me the best deal possible.
Hmm.
And I mean, I don't, there's probably more details than that, but the bot argued with the dealership over their
Oh my
like in
goodness.
website chat.
Uh-huh.
Looks like it, and saved him some money on a new car. So
Wow. It successfully
that's something.
argued for a savings. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Did you happen to see the conversation? Did it look convincing or
No, he doesn't. The
okay.
Let me see if there are replies here. Oh, I don't have a X account anymore, so I can't see the replies. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this guy says he saved money on that.
Wow. That's amazing. It makes me think that now I'm like, oh, that's what I want to use it for. Get me a cheap car.
Oh, okay, cool. He made a blog post. Awesome.
Oh,
Okay, I can
nice.
post this then. He saved about um depending on where you start, if you're at MSRP, he saved a couple $1,000s. Yeah.
Wow. And he can
Nice.
probably just turn around and sell it if he really doesn't need the car.
Well, it was a new car, so as soon as it goes off the lot, it's losing a lot
Oh,
in
well,
depreciation. So
yeah. Oh, a new car
but
too. Not bad, I
oh
guess.
man, okay. That's how we can quit our jobs. We can have it.
Yeah.
What is something that's fungible that we can flip? We can have
Right.
we can have some
Yeah.
LLM purchase, buy and sell stuff for us.
Right. A flipping AI bot.
People must be doing this on like the stock market or the futures market, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
just haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet.
Yeah, actually, I've been curious about it in the crypto market. Like, maybe just get an AI bot to trade for you. But apparently, there are all kinds of trading algorithms that are a little more reliable, a little more predictable, a little more rules based, where an AI model might kind of go off the rails. So maybe not the best trading bot.
I mean, that's going back to what I started with is no matter what you do, it's all non-deterministic. All these LLMs are just words.
Yeah.
And so there's no guarantee that any of them won't. I mean, it probably won't happen, but it could happen that they're just like, well, it's time to sell all your assets and burn your house down. And like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
if you give it the power to do that, it might do that because there's no true
Mm-hmm.
controls on it except what it has access to.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't seen more stories like that yet. But if we heard a story like that literally tonight, I would not be surprised, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of just
Because there
waiting for
was,
it to happen.
I've seen little ones here and there, like a guy's hacking on something, vibe coding, and the Claude like deletes his whole database.
Oh yeah, I guess I did hear some of those early on. I think
But
it's
yeah,
been,
like
yeah.
even those are relatively benign.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think I just need some time to like really sit down with it. But I'll be honest, the news is moving so fast that I'm kind of like I'm like feeling like I'm being left in the dust here. Everyone's like, even my brother who is a product manager,
Mm,
he has found a use for ClawdBot. Um,
nice.
he actually had it pay off one of his tickets with AI. It's like these tickets aren't that difficult to pay. You have to go to the right website, provide some payment information, get that confirmation. Uh,
Hmm.
but he provided, those details to it, some instruction, and it took care of it for him. I'm like, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And he's you know, he's not as much into software development as I am, and I feel like, oh man, plenty of people are getting ahead of this. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I should be more on top of this.
Yeah. It's this last weekend I went away with friends, and yeah, we were all comparing notes like, are you using it? Are we missing something? One of my friends is a teacher, and the district he works in has mandatory like AI training, and they're like, you can use it to make a quiz. And all the teachers are like, yeah, but we can make a quiz in 5 minutes because we know like that is not valuable to me because we make quizzes all the time. Like
Yeah,
what does this actually do for me?
right.
I still feel like software there's some value there. I'm not
Hmm.
sure of it because I keep seeing reports that are like it's not actually valuable. Like even
Yeah.
uh I forgot to pull these up before the podcast, but even this last weekend, there were two other, like another report came out that was like, even Anthropic, I think, said like, oh, it's not all that valuable in software
Mm,
development. But
wow.
then, of course, they're like, yet, any minute now.
Right, yeah. It does feel like it benefits people who aren't experts in a certain area the most.
Ooh,
Because I can imagine, coming up with the quiz, it's probably not that difficult for a teacher who knows their stuff, but maybe it's great for a substitute teacher.
yeah, yeah. I guess it hasn't changed much. Like replace an LLM with a person. Like, I don't know how smoke detectors work,
Mm-hmm.
so I ask ChatGPT,
Mm.
and ChatGPT gives me an answer, and I don't know
Mm-hmm.
that that's right, so I just assume that it's right.
Oh,
If
well,
I was asking a person,
uh-huh.
it'd be the same thing, except
Sure.
people have a better track record, or maybe not. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I would argue that people probably have worse track records these days. I mean,
It's
it used to hallucinate a lot more, but I found it to be pretty accurate. That said, it does change its mind a lot still. But I think just like people, where you have to kind of take things with a grain of salt, a little bit of skepticism, a little bit of like, let's check that.
Mhm.
You definitely have to be that way with these AI models.
Yeah.
And to be honest, most of the things that I'm asking it about, I don't really need like a lot of confidence that it's right. For the most part, I'm just like kind of curious about something, and I'm like, let's see what it has to say, and usually it gives me an answer that's satisfying enough, but it's still not enough that I would say that okay, I'm educated on that topic now. It'd be like, oh, I heard this, but I still would need to verify it.
Yeah. I mean that's um maybe I'm overextending. I'm sort of trampolining off your point, but like um whether you were looking in a dictionary or an encyclopedia or going to the library,
Hmm.
like study skills, checking your sources has always been a skill
Oh,
that
yeah.
like hopefully educated adults, modern people have.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone could pick up like the wrong book and
Sure.
say,
Yeah.
oh, I read this book and it has all these racist things in it. Now
Ooh.
I think this is true. And like,
Yikes.
well, you picked up the wrong book.
Yeah.
I guess we haven't, like, as a society, I don't know that we've developed the habits and systems
Yeah.
to know how to like do good study skills and like check sources.
And my feeling
But
is we're only getting worse at it, to be honest.
I don't know. That same teacher this weekend, he said that the kids, they pretty much only use AI to cheat on their English papers.
Okay.
And they think it's pretty cringe. Do they say cringe still? It's pretty chopped.
I must not be up to date with the latest language. Chopped, I like
totally,
that.
No, I sound like a, what am I? No. Yeah, I'm definitely an unk. I think that's what they would call me, which is a cringe old person.
I will give you credit for probably being on top of social media better than I am. I'm terrible with it these days.
No.
Okay. So, with consideration for the popularity of ClawdBot and AI and software development and all these different things that people are getting AI to do for them, I thought it might be interesting to tie it into good old-fashioned software development as we've known it.
Yeah.
How it's evolving in the face of AI. At this point, with it being everywhere, I'm wondering, is it possible to avoid AI? Like we've clearly got skills that we've been developing for years, for decades, and those skills still work today, and we can still develop things without really hitting any kind of AI tool. But is that a responsible thing to do as someone who's working in the software space? Do you kind of have to use AI these days, or maybe you're not doing your due diligence at this point? What do you think about that?
Well, I've seen this FOMO, which we talk about frequently. You don't want to miss out on the next wave. Oh gosh, what if I'm unemployable because I don't know about this new thing? Like,
Sure.
I get that, and you could feel that with languages, with infrastructure, with front end frameworks. But on the other hand, like, yeah, software developers are not like the history just doesn't happen. Like this idea of like, well, AI is just, it is what it is, it's going to happen. Like that's not true. That is true because people keep saying it. But if you I don't know, if you can make a living without AI, there's no law that says you have to use AI, right?
Sure, yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, I think it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy unless people organize in opposition or just step back and focus on what's actually valuable. Like,
sure.
As I keep saying, I'm like a broken record. I don't know that all this stuff actually makes engineers like more productive. Like, there's more valuable, good software come out.
Well, so
I'm unsure.
So I'll throw like a weird analogy at you. I kind of think of it in a similar way to like when I was starting software development early on, and not really aware of all the standard tools out there. Like any beginner iOS developer, when it comes to database or data storage, I was leaning on user defaults. It was the quickest and easiest thing I could get going. And it worked great, actually. It was pretty reliable. But I would not expect to be able to get a job as anything more than a junior developer if that's all I knew. Even if it worked great, even if I built like some very awesome apps on top of that, you know. And part of that is just like iOS developers kind of expect from each other, like, oh, you should know that there are better tools for that kind of thing. I'm like, is that basically what AI is now? It's like, oh, you should really know your AI tools these days, you know?
I mean, the jury is still out as far as I'm concerned. Like,
Yeah.
this we might look back on this similar to like blockchain hype, and
Yep.
say like,
Still a
yes, there
very
are
trendy
uses
thing.
for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there was a point in time a few years ago where people were like, oh, if you don't know about the blockchain, you're going to be Web3's coming. Like, it wasn't as big as AI, but it was pretty big.
Had some traction, yeah.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like blockchain as a technology, Bitcoin and coins in general, like they have value, but it did not change the universe. Like, we are not now, all our banks didn't throw away their ledgers and re-implement on Web3.
Right.
And so like we will find out probably sooner than we want to, if this is all hype.
Yeah. Well, if I had to make a guess, I would say that in less digital spaces, something more like woodwork or like gardening, or there like some very like physical skills out there that you can learn on your own and do in a really like good way. You can like actually like make a whole garden of vegetables and fruit,
Yeah.
Are there more efficient ways to do it? Definitely, And can you do it at a bigger scale? Definitely. Like there's so many tools that you can use for those kinds of things. But do you have to do it that way? Not really, In parallel, there are people who are doing it, the less efficient way, maybe just as a hobby, just for personal fulfillment. And then there are people who are really trying to get the most out of it, and they're the ones who are gonna buy all of these expensive tools and tons of land and build some real infrastructure around it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's basically how this goes, where you've got your hobbyist software developers who couldn't care less about AI and just want to do it themselves for the personal fulfillment. Meanwhile, you've got this whole other part of the market, who's really trying to optimize and be as fast as possible, take advantage of all the best tools possible, doing much bigger things, much faster possibly, I could see the two kind of going in parallel.
Yeah, I can. This starts to crystallize the grand unified theory of the future of software development. Like, like with industrialization, there was, in general, like steam factories.
Yeah.
Suddenly everyone could make a lot very quickly. Uniform things could pop out, but there was still a demand for craftsmanship, and then there was like the arts and crafts movement in like reaction to that. And so craftspeople that were displaced by the factory had smaller livelihoods, but they still had livelihood. And then, as you were just saying, like similar metaphor, you've got factory farms, these huge CAFOs that are just like maximize profit, drive meat and corn and whatever as fast as you can.
Yeah.
And then there's local farms and organic farms and all
sorts
of those, or
those
backyards.
Didn't go away. Yeah.
If you're a hobbyist, and then you just have some tomatoes in your backyard,
Yeah. Let me know if you don't want this to be revealed, but I think I heard that you have your own chickens. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're very lucky in Chicago. The reason why we got our house is, one, it was a very small, weird house on a big lot. And so we were able to afford it. And then two, the reason why we wanted it is because it had that big lot. So
yeah,
we've got a big front yard with chickens and a like decorative garden.
That's awesome.
And the backyard is more like raised beds and food garden.
Okay. Whoa, super cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But I love your metaphor. I love the, there will be, Facebook will be the factory farm of software.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It will grind materials and people up, and it will make
Mm-hmm.
software at scale.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that that's the only software. Like there's still
Right.
all sorts of different shapes and sizes of businesses and hobbyists and professionals and craftspeople and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. I really
I
hope
hope.
so. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, me too. I
it
don't
all
want to live in
depends
that.
on. Yeah. I mean, like, because I'm sure, like, here's the truth. Like, you could probably make your own sheets of paper these days, right? You could, like, like
Yeah,
pulverize a bunch of fiber and smash it into, like, really cool, like,
yeah.
personalized sheets of paper. But like paper is so affordable these days that like no one does that,
Well, a
Literally
couple
no.
people do.
But
It's
yeah, I
funny you
guess
use
so.
that as an example
Okay.
because at my local library there's a flyer up last weekend for a paper making
Ooh,
class.
okay, wow. Okay, so there's some percentage of people out there that might be in the
At
single
least
digits, but
at least a few people.
yeah. But but it's it's the kind of thing that is actually a huge surprise if you hear anyone doing that kind of thing, because most
Mhm.
people are gonna just run to the store and grab paper, and it's not gonna be romantic at all, it's just like they don't care. It's just like a part of life, like you need paper sometimes. Um, Maybe that's what happens to software is like, that there are such, I don't know, the ways to kind of go about getting, good software is just so easy and so throwaway that why would you take the time to learn a programming language, which does, it's a steep learning curve. Um,
Yeah.
it's yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth about like if people are going to continue to do that, like a part of me wants to believe that like even if I could dream up my own, software and tell it to an AI and it makes it, maybe I'd still want to, figure out how to make it all myself. But I don't know if I would have taken that time. Um, Maybe it's just a personal thing too, like a personality kind of thing where like maybe some people are going to have more patience for that kind of thing and some people won't.
I feel like you're dancing up to the like, SaaS is dead. Everyone will
Oh.
just make their own tools. Like maybe I'm overextending what you're saying.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
so I have heard this idea. I think Sam Altman has mentioned this in some interviews that like in the
mhm.
future all software will be extremely personalized and you will have software tools that are made just for you that work just in the way that you want them to. Basically, you'll create your own kind of like software ecosystem, personal software
Yeah.
ecosystem. Um, and maybe you do that more intentionally, or maybe you just do that by interacting with the market. Um, uh, that's as close to like everyone just making their own software as I can imagine things going, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Even if software is effectively free and the interface is APIs and you asking the chatbot to like make an app for me,
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like a big value of SaaS is not just the software,
Mm-hmm.
but the opinions of the software makers.
The good taste, right?
But yeah, mark that one on your your bingo card. Not just good taste in this, but like if you pay for HubSpot, I have a feeling that you're not just paying for a CRM database and some automations, but
Hmm.
something about the way HubSpot approaches sales
Mm-hmm.
works with you. I have a hard
Mm.
time believing that somebody would say, I have a company of, I don't know, a couple hundred people with a couple
Mm-hmm.
hundred salespeople, and I'm going to use ChatGPT to make my CRM.
Hmm.
Like, maybe I'll laugh at this opinion because we're recording it. So maybe in a couple years we'll be like, oh, what a dummy you were, Sean. But right now I have a hard time believing, even if agentic, AI development tools are like, I don't know, much better.
Mm-hmm.
It seems so crazy to me that an individual would sit down and be like the head of sales would be like, instead of paying HubSpot $50,000 a year, we're gonna just use ChatGPT and make our own CRM system. But again, maybe that's a failure of imagination.
Yeah, it's really tough because there's no limit to what you can imagine this extending to. Like if you're being realistic, you kind of want to temper those expectations and say like it's not going to be perfect. But there's another side of me that's like, well, why can't it be perfect? And how close to perfect can we get? I think it's a lot like I mean, we might be going off the rails here, but
That is long since passed.
I think it's a lot like when people say that AI will never like really feel like talking to another person. That you'll always be able to like tell like that it's an AI at the end of the day. And to be honest, I kind of doubt that because there are people who are able to like convince each other that they are, something that they're not. There are actors, of course, but then
Catfishing is a thing, right?
yeah,
And those
there's
are
totally like con men out there, right?
yeah.
And if they're able to kind of like put on some kind of performance that's disingenuine, why can't these AI bots do that?
For sure.
I think it's just a matter of like how far it progresses, more than whether it's possible or not. And if that's true in that space, then maybe it's also true with the kind of software services space too. You
Yeah.
know?
So there's a David Foster Wallace I think it was I think it was in response to an interview. I'm gonna mess it up right now, but um basically um not all, a lot of capital, marketing, businesses and stuff want to simulate what you would get from being in a community. So like instead of going outside and talking to people, you have radio, then you have television, then you have
Oh,
the internet,
yeah.
then you have podcasts, then you have AI. And
Sure.
eventually on this scale, you get to like a perfect sort of simulation. And like you could sit in your room and talk to fake people all day.
Oh
And
boy.
so maybe, yeah, like that might make you feel uncomfortable. I don't think that there's anything necessarily like wrong with that by itself.
Okay.
The problem is the money and the power, because
Oh
these
yeah.
systems don't exist in a vacuum. These systems are made by billionaires
Yeah.
who, even if they're the nicest billionaires in the world, they still
Mhm.
make this simulation to take money from you
Oh
and to
yeah.
make
They've
more
still
money and to
got
get
their
more
own
power.
agenda. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it sounds conspiratorial, and I don't mean that. I just mean like the problem is not the technology. This is like guns don't kill people, people kill people. The problem is
Oh
not the
sure.
technology.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the like it distracts and like it just takes away from I don't know, human dignity, for lack of a better word.
Sure. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Now I'm definitely off the deep end.
Well, I think yeah, it probably gets a bit into like philosophy and what makes a good life, what is the right kind of life to live. Because maybe in the end living in a. Could be healthier. Maybe you have
Yeah.
better mental health. Maybe you like maybe those fake friends feel like real friends and they
Yeah.
make you happier than any average person today.
Yeah.
Um
Oh man. Yeah, like the one guy, Joey Pantaleone's character in The Matrix. He's like, I
mm,
know the steak is fake and I
right.
don't care. Like I
Yeah.
just want to be comfortable and warm.
Oh yeah,
Uh
yeah. And there's a lot of people who live that way. A lot of people really don't care like about the integrity of something. Like as much as we'd like to believe that people really do, and probably people care about integrity on some level for some specific things, but a lot of other people are just like, I just want my food to taste good, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to go about my day. I'm just trying to survive. Like, I really don't care.
Yep. I just want OpenClaw to organize my 10,000 emails and
Yeah.
book me a flight to Hawaii.
Or maybe even simpler. I just don't want to deal with email, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Like,
yeah, that's a astute
yeah.
point. Because through all these discussions, it's like, what is the point? What is the point of a human
Mhm.
life? What is the point of software? Like, and it depends. Maybe
Mhm.
to you, not you, David, but the listener,
Mhm.
maybe, who cares? It's all fun, whatever. Or maybe, you want to live a life where you like build things by hand, and those are entirely
Yeah.
different value systems.
Right, yeah. And I mean, I have my own opinion, but maybe if I'm like, separating my opinion from it, maybe either way could be valid, Maybe either way is
Yeah.
right. Um
Yeah.
I don't know. But to loop things back before we get off of get before this episode ends, one thing I wanted to kind of talk about in terms of avoiding developing with AI. Man, AI really does take us places, huh? Um would
Yeah.
you if there's a developer, a junior developer, maybe even a mid-level developer who's trying to decide where to go with their future, would you would you be able to tell them that, hey, like, just continue with iOS development the way you know how to, don't worry about any of these AI tools, or would that feel irresponsible?
Oh man, that's a tough hypothetical. Are you going to answer your own question?
I could answer it what I think. I think I would feel like that's irresponsible, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I think the industry is clearly. I think the industry was against it when it initially started becoming a developer tool. But I think the industry is now like embracing it with arms wide open. And
Yeah.
and if you're not on that wave, I think you're definitely going to be left behind because the rest of your team will be using those tools, whether it's to make their work easier on themselves or to get ahead faster,
On my favorite social network, I saw on LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
a post that I won't attribute because I don't I don't agree with a lot of what they said.
Yeah.
But they just had this funny little quip about how in the 2000s for the Y2K fix, there was real danger. Like tons of companies and governments and stuff spent a ton of money on Y2K to fix the 2-digit versus 4-digit in dates. And there were a bunch of COBOL programmers that came out of retirement and were making, I don't know, $300 an hour, $500 an hour, making big bucks.
Okay.
Because that skill had been lost, and it was more efficient to hire the old guard than to try to have these, whippersnappers figure it out.
Okay.
Well, his point was, I wonder if in a couple years, after a generation of programmers have forgotten how to program, if they're going to pull back a bunch of old guard programmers out of retirement because AI kind of tied itself in knots.
mm. I don't know how true this is or not, but I have heard that hiring for software developers has increased again. Partly
Oh.
because companies are realizing that leaning on AI as much as we hoped we'd be able to isn't really possible, at least right now.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
if that's true, but that's I've seen a couple videos claim that.
yeah. Because like I haven't looked at actual Bureau of Labor statistics, and even if I did, I don't know if the Bureau of Labor Statistics is still fully funded. So who
Oh,
knows?
yeah, wow.
Uh, but yeah, like every day it's a different article. It's like
Mhm.
these layoffs are more about having people do more work or like cutting out management layers or whatever
Yeah.
than AI. It doesn't seem like I don't know.
Right. It almost seems like it's happening just coincidentally at the same time as the AI wave.
Yeah. Or it's a
Uh,
smokescreen.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have heard there are these consulting companies. Basically, they go around telling a lot of these other big companies what to do, and one of the main pieces of advice they've been giving is to like cut costs in terms of employees. Uh, Basically to
Yeah.
let go of as many employees as you can to save money.
Mhm.
And I I feel like that probably would still be happening whether AI was taking over or not, you know? It's just like not great advice,
Yeah.
but it is one way to save money.
Well, to your question, to your hypothetical, entry level engineer, I would say, as I often do, what do you want to do? If you want to make money, and as much money as possible, then that's a certain set of skills. Do you actually enjoy making software? Do you want to make software? Like that's a different thing. Like it depends. Like if somebody just wants to be employable, I think the most important thing you can do in this job market is figure out what your unique value proposition is, Um being able to say that you are uniquely qualified for something, whatever that is, whether that's, AI on iOS or I can't think of anything else, but think of a value proposition, and maybe that includes AI.
It's what you want from your future in development. If you want to be competitive, if you want to make the money and get, the raises, AI is probably going to be a part of your future. But if you just
Mhm.
want to like make some cool hobby projects, uh, you know, avoid it, ignore it, who cares? Or get into it if you're interested. Um, I think I'm probably going to be keeping up with AI as much as I can, but it's moving so fast I don't know if I can.
I mean, then it comes right back to everything we talked about, the fear of missing out, it
hmm
is what it is, will I be employable? Do I have to be aware of these tools? Like,
Oh yeah.
unclear.
Yeah. The good thing is like we're all kind of reacting to it as an industry, like. And to be honest, I think there are probably people lagging behind much more than you and I. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I have this conversation at work and with friends and with, professional colleagues. Like, the good thing is, like, there's lots of change happening and everything's up for grabs, and you can sort of rebuild things in a better way. Like AI can
hmm
be an excuse to just have better teams, have better development practices, and then you can sort of say like, "Oh, it's for AI." Um, but
Mm.
that's also the bad thing. Everything is changing and everything is up for grabs. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
in this chaos, it could also get a lot worse. And the
Oh yeah.
difference is, who you work with, who you work for, your values, the stability of your business, all of that stuff. Everything's changing.
Yeah. 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 I guess it's like a game of musical chairs. You just gotta try to survive as long as you can. Grab whatever seat you can.
I was trying to be a little more optimistic with that, but yeah, pretty much. Over the last few days, I've read probably 4 or 5 blog posts from people with varying degrees of visibility in the Apple ecosphere,
hmm
saying basically like, Apple's dead to me. It's over. This
Wow.
company's toast, and the very clearly not toast in the financial sense, but in the soul is gone.
Mm.
And so I won't recount everyone else's blog post, but I thought this was interesting because I think that these all came out because ICE, federal agency,
hmm
is murdering people in the street, and
Yeah.
I hope that regardless of political alignment, we can all agree that federal forces should not kill people without any
Right.
cause or uh, we could argue about the implementation details, but generally not a good idea to murder people without any reason.
Yeah, they're acting like gangs out there. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, we know in Chicago, and anyone could go and read about the experience on the streets in Minneapolis. Like it's terrible. So this is going on. This is the background. Against this background, Apple has the greatest quarter it's ever had. In their financial results were released last week. Tim Cook did his conference call and talked about how iPhone demand was through the roof. It's great. They made an incredible amount of money. That's awesome. Also, the entire, at least everybody I read and listen to, is just so mad, which is good, about macOS Tahoe. And I'm cheering along to all of this. I'm like, that's great. Apple made a lot of money. It's terrible. ICE is terrible. Abolish ICE. Abolish all of Department of Homeland Security. I don't care. Get rid of them. And macOS Tahoe is terrible. Yes, totally. Last but not least, though, Tim Cook went to a premiere of this arguably money laundering scheme. This movie that came out about our First Lady, which I'm not going to go into. You can Google it. You can read all about it.
I did see like a little trailer or something about that.
Oh my gosh.
I was surprised by that. It looked like highly produced too. I was a little bit surprised. I was shocked. Yeah.
Well, that's I said I wouldn't go into it, but I mean that's the crazy thing is because like they spent, I think it was $70 million total on this thing. And like,
oh my goodness. I had no idea.
It's supposed to be a documentary. The director was accused and, asterisk never, convicted, but like he was accused of being a sex pest in Hollywood. So like,
oh no,
it's just a bad scene. And assuming the best, Tim Cook probably accepted this invitation a while ago. And then all these things happened at the same time. And so out of this mess, you have Apple has lost its design purpose. Tim Cook is a ghoul who is, working with Trump and all these bad things. ICE is murdering people in the streets, all this together. And so people are writing these blog posts. And I'm not invalidating their experience at all. Anybody can write a blog post. You can feel however you want about Apple. The thing that is surprising for me is, I guess, how little I've cared. Not that I don't wish Apple would do better. Like everybody should do better. But I started, like, I was an Apple fan in, like, I don't know, 1998 was when I first, I guess, identified as a fan.
Okay.
And so Apple has long since, like a long time ago, Apple became the rebels become the empire. You either die a hero or you live long enough, whatever the Dark Knight says. Like,
I
like
remember people used to, or cheer Apple on for going after Big Blue. I guess IBM, right?
Yeah, you got that famous photo.
and they've pretty much swapped places now, or I don't know where IBM is these days, but
I think they're doing a lot of AI, probably.
Oh yeah, probably.
So my point in bringing all this up is to, I guess, throw my 2 cents into the ring. It's like Apple has long been a megacorp with, I mean, they had more cash on hand than most companies ever see in, a lifetime. Like their cash on hand was greater than the valuation of most companies a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
So like, I think Apple should do better. I think every company should do better. I think macOS Tahoe should be better. I think every company should invest in design. But I guess I've had some sort of like I accepted long ago that like not that it couldn't be better and not that I didn't want it to be better, but like Apple is a big company and that's fine. Apple never cared about me.
Sure. Yeah. I do wonder. I mean, maybe this. I hope it's not in poor taste to like ask, like, would Steve Jobs be making the same moves as Tim Cook is right now? You know, I don't
Yeah.
think
I
so,
mean,
though. I really don't.
I mean, it's a, it's a moot point, right? Because you'll never get
Hmm.
an answer, but like,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I mean, that's the sort of drumbeat. Like,
Hmm.
Steve Jobs would never do this. Steve Jobs would, but we don't know. Unfortunately, we'll never know.
Yeah. Yeah. There have been times where, at least publicly, it seemed like Steve Jobs really pushed against, uh, things that were happening in the government. I remember, was it around encryption? Um, I believe there was a time where like Apple was being pressured to provide like either backdoor access or something to the government, and they made a big stink about it in the press. And eventually, they, at least at that time, or it appeared that they were able to kind of get away from that request for uh, basically destroying their security for the sake of the government, access. Um,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was after. If you're thinking of there was a shooter and the FBI wanted help um, um, decrypting the phone.
that does sound
If you're thinking
familiar.
of that, that was
That's
after
after
Steve
Steve
Jobs had
Jobs'
passed
time.
away.
Okay.
But yeah,
Hmm. Maybe there were times where Apple, even under Tim Cook, was just more willing to kind of fight the government on things. Because
yeah.
to be
I
honest,
mean, I
I feel like these days, like Trump would ask for access and Tim Cook would agree and we'd never hear about it,
yeah. I mean,
I
I
don't know
don't.
though. I might be giving him too little credit.
Well, no. I mean, this is why I'll never be the CEO of $1 trillion company,
Hmm.
because I wouldn't do that at any point in the career ladder. I would say, I don't want to do this. Like, that's bad. We should just give the
Hmm.
money away.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm not going to be a billionaire either. Because at any point, I would say, well, I have too
Yeah.
much money. We should just not do this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I do kind of wonder what kind of legacy Tim Cook is going to leave behind with Apple. Like, is he going to be the guy who just made Apple a lot of money and was willing to schmooze up to whatever president he had to make that happen? Is that really a legacy that he would want to leave behind?
Yeah.
I feel like Apple and the people there have always been about something more respectable than that.
Well, I mean, that's I think, what's a company nobody cares about? I'm sure there's a fan somewhere, but let's say like General Electric, like GE. GE is a megacorp.
Hmm.
It's owned all sorts of things over the years, but GE, I don't think in recent years has ever made aspirational. Um, like the GE doesn't say, "Oh, we're gonna be 100% green," or "We believe in social justice," or "We believe
Hmm.
in civil rights." So nobody really cares about GE. But yeah,
Hmm.
like you said, Tim Cook has he laid it out. He said Martin Luther King is my hero. He
Hmm.
said I want to make a positive difference in the world. He said we're going to do
Hmm.
this. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah. Not to say he
Anyone
hasn't
can.
done good things too. I think he was the first major or like top CEO to come out as gay. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that seems like a pretty big deal for visibility.
yeah, for sure. I mean, even like I imagine. I mean, we'll never know, but I just imagine that,
Hmm.
I don't know, in his exercise room at 5 in the morning, he thinks to himself like, we make these compromises
Hmm.
and it will be worth it, because if we can just appease Trump, then we can do other good things.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know, like history will be the judge.
Yeah. 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 Very curious where things are gonna go. Um, But I know there's also been talk about a successor for Tim Cook, and so maybe he's just doing what he has to until he gets to that point, and and then someone else can deal with the mess.
I well that I are you are you saying that you would imagine Tim Cook is exhausted and he's just like, oh, I just got to get through this last year and then I can finally chill.
Maybe that plus let me get through these last years with good numbers, good money numbers, and then I can chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine, I don't know. And I can't wait. I guess we're going to have to wait about, I don't know, 10, 20 years, but like there'll be the book, the like Tim Cook bio.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I assume there will be at some point. And
Right.
I would love to read about, what he was thinking, how he justifies all of his actions and stuff. Like,
Oh no, I don't have a lot of hope for
yeah.
that. I feel like it's gonna be the most like uh whitewashed,
Yeah.
romanticized version of his story possible. Unless we get
Yeah.
Walter Isaacson on it.
Ugh, don't get me started on that.
Oh
Steve
really?
Jobs. Yeah, I mean the Isaacson biography was like it was less precise than other independent, unauthorized biographies. And
Hmm.
Isaacson had no follow-up, no curiosity. There were like parts where I was screaming at the book like, ask the follow-up question. Go beyond.
Oh.
He'd be like, Steve Jobs was sad. Why was he sad?
Yeah. I think if there's one thing I appreciate about him, it's that he didn't try to make these figures, these people seem like perfect, figures in history, I think maybe in some cases he even tried a little too hard to show some of their cracks,
Mm,
um may have even made a bigger deal out of some things than he needed to, but at least there was some like critical perspective on Steve Jobs and Elon Musk are the only books that I've paid attention to from him.
mm, mm.
um yeah, yeah, but yeah, I really don't know in terms of accuracy or I'll be honest. I got through the Steve Jobs book and I was pretty satisfied with it. Um, but it was a different time. I think I was in my like early to mid 20s at that time. So maybe in my oh god mid 30s now. Maybe I would want more out of it. Yeah. I would be curious. What would be the crack in Tim Cook that Walter Isaacson would pull out? You know. Too money hungry. Too willing to do anything for money.
I don't
Oh
know,
god.
because like I don't know. We're all just making up stories outside of the boardroom, but like I think based on all the impression I get, I think he's about efficiency. He doesn't want to
Hmm.
spend money he doesn't have to spend. He wants to it's not the pursuit of money, it's the pursuit of
Mm.
the good thing, like efficiencies and positive outcomes and good products.
Hmm.
Like I worked with a guy, one of my old mentors, who was like, as the CTO, you build the system that builds the product.
Yeah.
The people, the processes, and all that.
Hmm.
I think Tim Cook is really excited about like the operations.
Mm. But I mean, you get a really good operation, of course you're gonna get great money from it.
Yeah, yeah. But some people chase the money.
Yeah.
I think Tim Cook chases the operations and then the money comes.
Mm.
Subtle difference.
Yeah, well, I agree. So it's a bit of a longer term mindset, right?
Yeah.
It's a more of a kind of deeper kind of a plan. Something maybe even a little more sustainable, definitely more respectable. Um, yeah, but I don't know what I mean. I guess it's literally just the fact that like Apple has made so much money with him at the top, uh, and and I do feel like so many of the decisions that have been made have that. that hint, that smell of like money decision, you know? Like I would
Yeah.
love for Apple to do something where it's like, oh, it looks like they're kind of throwing away their money here, and like just for the benefit of people to like make a great experience. But I haven't really felt like that for a while, you know. Like I don't know, maybe Apple's never been that way, but all I know is that Apple's been doing great with money under Tim Cook. That's all I know.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just I have very complicated feelings about Apple,
Mm.
and I despite my better judgment, I feel a little bad for
Mm.
Apple. Like, no company exists in a vacuum, but
Mm.
like I don't know. I'm not ready to switch to Linux yet. I'm not ready to write my blog post yet. Like, thanks for listening to the NSCoder Chicago podcast. My name's Sean.
And my name is David. NSCoder is a monthly event that takes place on the last Tuesday of every month. If you'd like to join us in person, check out the NSCoder Chicago meetup on meetup.com or go to nscoder-chicago.com for more information there. Thanks.